want to say morning to everyone. Thanks for joining us on Untengle. We're coming together as one. For those who have just joined us, my name is Elise Kelly, and we untangle straight through till 1 in the afternoon. We do that on a Tuesday and on a Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning to 1 in the afternoon. You heard that promo. We do the untangling. Uno know, uno need for untangle, cause whole heap of thing that for untangle. So uno decide if a shame and pride, doubt, insecurity, sickness, whatever it is, loneliness, generational curse, all of them something there. You know, so we need for untangle the whole of them thing there. Poverty, lack, hatred, elitism, bad mind, grudge, the whole of them there's something there. But one thing I'm inviting you to do, come as you are. Standing by for Constitutionally Speaking.
You're now listening to Constitutionally Speaking on The Bridge 99 FM. Stand up for your right.
Good morning, team.
Hi, how are you? Good morning, Jamaica. Good morning, Tri-State and beyond.
Wonderful. And good morning to you, Public Defender and Deputy Public Defender.
And he's right here.
Okay, wonderful. So, of course, you know, the first question is all about Glasgow, Scotland, focusing on climate change. A Jamaican delegation is being represented there. And of course, many people are taking the Prime Minister to task about what is being said at the summit versus what is actually being practiced here at home by the government. Let's get right into it. With regards to bauxite mining in protected areas such as the cockpit country, how are the constitutional rights of citizens being affected by disruptions in our environment?
In case you don't know, let me just share with you and listeners. There is currently a case in court involving Special Mining Lease 173, which is a permit given to Noranda to mine whole heap of land. I can't remember how much, 100 hectares of land. And you know, we raised objections because the cockpit country supplies 40% of the water that we need to live. So that case continues in court. And we have a trial date for next year. And it raises constitutional matters. So I don't want to preempt any court ruling, but you would appreciate that cutting down the broadleaf forest and other species of plants would not be in the best interest of Jamaica. You know also that bauxite out in cockpit country, you know that we have this very valuable water supply where the water runs off down in sinkholes and emerges elsewhere. And these are things that we believe as a people. These are our rights, part of our identity, culture, and entitlement under the Constitution to protect. So we do not support extractive industries, and we do not believe that there has been a cost-benefit analysis of how much we get, how much we earn from bauxite compared to what the cost to us as a people, and also the fact that people in those communities, Albert Town, Retreat, there's another one, like Wait a Bit. All those communities, people make good living from the land, farming, tours, all birding, other ecotourist activities. And we cannot afford for that pristine formation of hillocks and limestone formation to be further destroyed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's one thing to go to a summit like this and misrepresent what you're actually doing. But it's another thing to question now. If you are misrepresenting it, then you must know that it is not right.
We don't. Let me put the case this way to you.
Yes.
Because we have been following this thing closely.
Yes.
It was in an Observer article that I saw a statement attributed to Minister Colonel Charles Jr. And that is in Observer, Thursday, October 10th, when we were told that we can now proudly say that we have launched plans to achieve climate goals. And I want to read a part of it. I can proudly say we have now transitioned Minister with responsibility for climate change portfolio, Colonel Charles Jr. said, as he declared a plan launched. We are not only talking about implementing, we are now implementing. So Jamaica can now proudly say we are on our way. Now, I read the article with interest because we have been following the threat to our environment and the threat of environmental degradation of our small island space. So with that, I wrote to the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Housing, Urban Renewal and Environment and Climate Change, because the article to which I referred did not say what it was we had implemented and what the strategies were.
Absolutely.
To meet our climate goals.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So let me put it this way. If we are serious about climate change and protecting our small location, very small, I don't know how we can continue to engage in extractive industries. That is the position of this Commission of Parliament. We live on a small, some of us call it the rock, as you know, small space. We don't live on a large piece of continent, a large landmass, where perhaps the impact by virtue of size may be different. And we, on the small islands of the Caribbean, those out in the Pacific, in other small island states, we are the ones who will feel climate change more than anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Because some of our islands, as is already happening by virtue of rising sea levels, are slowly disappearing.
Yep.
And I want to make one more point before Mr. Mackenzie comes in. We have often heard about the planting of the 3 million trees. An initiative we support wholeheartedly. We support it. Let us not for a moment think that the planting of 3 million trees is a replacement for trees that we cut down out in cockpit country, because you know mining continues out there. It is not a replacement. 3 million baby trees do not do the work of adult mature trees.
Yes.
You know, so I want to make that point because we hear, the 3 million trees and so on, and we support planting trees every day. But it is not a replacement for the destruction of established forests, whether in the cockpit country or anywhere else on the island. So we have a lot of work to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems that out of the conference, and, we watched all the speeches and so on, and we want, and we see the commitments, but we notice that China and Russia were absent. We notice commitments being made, to protect forests and so on. And the bottom line is the funding to transition us into a green economy where our reliance on fossil fuel is less. So we, alternative types of energy that the climate can breathe and the earth can catch a breath. So these are some of the fundamental issues, and it is disappointing. The outcome is disappointing because this is a follow-up, as I understand it, to the Paris conference held, I don't remember the year now. You remember a little while back.
2014, was it?
Sometime in that region.
But that didn't slow deforestation.
And we have not seen any marked improvement from that time because the Amazon continues to be cut down and deforested. And we continue to have heavy reliance on coal, natural gas, crude oil as energy sources. And so you wonder, well, okay, we have another international conference. Everybody had an opportunity to chat and have a good time and make their contribution. But small states were on the brink of serious damage. When last have you come, for instance, along the waterfront, downtown Kingston? Those of us who know that waterfront, downtown Kingston, and I use that only as one example, the water is coming in and in and in, right? So certain sections had little beaches here and there. Those no longer exist. I think Mr. Mack may want to add something.
I just want to add to the downtown example, Helsha Beach, which is virtually all but gone.
Yep.
Completely.
I gather now from where the land meets the sea, it's almost like a sheer drop. And the water just keeps crashing right on the land itself. And there are going to be more Helshas than more downtown Kingston around if we continue the trend where there's this amount of money which is being committed, as announced at the Glasgow summit, to small island states. We can only hope that as a small island state, we benefit from it and use the money for the purpose for which it is intended.
Can I interject here? Either of you, either the public defender or deputy public defender, I know that money funding has been promised. Let us say we get the funding that we need. Without public education and without the public understanding how crucial the whole system of deforestation is, how much difference will all of that money actually make?
Well, you know that we believe strongly in public education. I mean, you will hear us talk about it in terms of vaccination, that we need public education about vaccinations. We need persuasion rather than edicts and orders. We need education to tell people about vaccines, benefits, and possible harmful results, as we have seen in some parts of the world. Not necessarily here, but in other parts of the world. We believe in public education. We believe every school perhaps should have like an environmental club where they monitor the beaches in their own communities. You can take a tape measure or perhaps something longer to measure your beach and record it from year to year. That will give you an idea of erosion in your community. There's beach erosion all over Jamaica.
Yep.
Go out to Nyla, in those areas, and you tend to have open sea out there. And we have not, when we talk about, for instance, we are planting mangroves, you have to take into account that we just cut down acres of mangrove out in Hanover for the purpose of the construction of a hotel. And people will say, well, if you have a problem with that, it means that you are not for economic progress. Far from it. Far from it. Our treasures, such as mangrove, such as cockpit country, need to be protected, used in a way that we leave it in, hopefully, a better state for our children. Because the truth is, we need to hear youth voices.
Absolutely.
We saw that the delegation to Glasgow consisted of the Prime Minister and his team, a technical team, and we understand the need for that. NGO and youth. We haven't heard anything from whoever the NGO is, whether it's 1, 2, and we haven't heard anything from the youth voice. The youth have to be engaged in climate change activities and the protection of the environment. Ultimately, it is they who are to benefit, right?
That's right.
Our children must know about it. They ought also to be the guardians of that which nature has provided.
And that which they will inherit.
It's theirs, and believe you me, I don't know when last you have been to bauxite country. What I see out there, the massive excavation of what you call deep pits left open, that your signs have to be erected, so that, I suppose, particularly for children and so on. If you fall in there, you have to call in the fire brigade to come draw you out. It is painful for some of us to see this, and hence the case in the Supreme Court to try and protect our water resources, in particular in cockpit country.
Okay. All right. We're running out of time, but we really do need to mention the conversation that the Prime Minister of Barbados had, and it's something that's facing all of us as small island nations, that if the funding does not come, however it comes, we are in trouble.
Well, I listened to her, and I thought her presentation was excellent, a combination of intellectual power, and at the same time, from the heart.
Yes.
That combination,
yes,
I found to be particularly moving. All the other speakers mentioned the same things in terms of content and the need for financing. But her presentation was exceptionally good.
I hear you.
By virtue of her ability to speak and deliver, combining intellect, understanding of the subject matter, and at the same time speaking from the heart, our people, your people, and so on. I thought it
said.
was moving.
Well said. And this is now characterizing her, not just on this
Absolutely.
subject.
Not only on this subject, but if you watch her and listen to her, you will see that these are her characteristics.
Absolutely.
She's an intellectual heavyweight, and years to come, children of our children will be reading and studying about Miss Motley as a leader in the region.
100%. I agree with you, sir. All right. So we're going to go. And nice talking to you. Thanks for the information, you both. And we meet again next week, same time, most high willing.
Okay.
Thank you so much. And just to remind everybody to keep safe.
Yes.
Do our best to keep safe.
Same to you.
Thank you so much. Good to go.
Okay, bye. Have a good one. So that's constitutionally speaking, and our guests, the Public Defender Arlene Harrison Henry and Deputy Public Defender Mr. Herbert McKenzie, speaking on the COP26 currently underway in Glasgow, Scotland, and it's all about focusing on climate change. We'll take a break. We soon come. We have a global connection, right? So, yeah, guess what? We're going to be telling you this perhaps more than once. Hope you're really listening as Stepper says, untangle. You don't know years old. And really listen. You understand? Because guess what? As of next week, right, Ron? As of next week, Untengle starts at 11 o'clock in the morning and goes through till 2 in the afternoon. And that's because of daylight saving time over there in Foreign. Foreign means USA, but everybody knows it. Big foreign. Big foreign. We're not talking little foreign, big foreign. Yeah, so because of daylight saving time over there in Big Foreign, we're coming in at 11 o'clock next week, Tuesday, and going through to 2 p.m. And Richie B comes in at 7 and goes to 2. No, goes to 11, sorry. Do the maths, Elise, please. Do the maths. Okay, so it's now 14 minutes after 11 o'clock, and we have live online Sabrina Webster. Good morning, Sabrina.
Morning, Elise. How are you?
I am very well. I love that morning. We love that morning there. All right, morning. Morning. Thanks for joining us on Untengle on the Bridge 99 FM.
Thanks for having me. I am happy to be here.
Okay, great. All right. As usual, we like to start at the top. So you grew up in Central Kingston. Tell us a little bit about Campbelltown. I know about Franklin Town, but not Campbelltown.
Oh, well, Campbelltown is just below Almontown, right behind Sabina Park.
Okay.
It's a very small community. Growing up there was... I wouldn't trade it for anything. It's similar to growing up in Franklin Town. You have a little corner shop. You can buy a big Gila aisle, like a quarter bread, etc. I don't know if that still happens.
No, man, it better happen.
Even though I still have family that lives there, to be honest. A good, maybe half of my family still lives there. So, and I still go down there often. But I don't go to the shop, so I don't know.
Okay, it has to happen. Trust me, it has to happen. And that's a good thing about, communities like those, because them cater to the people, them budgetary needs.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes.
And speaking of that, that's exactly where I am with ensuring that we do budgetary needs as well.
Okay, all right. Okay, so you're a marketer by profession. So before we get into the porridge shop, because all you come for this morning and make you hungry now. But before we get into the porridge shop, tell us a bit of your experience so far as a marketer.
Well, I started marketing in 2010 with Digicel. Started at Digicel Jamaica and then went to Digicel Group. So I did both local and regional marketing with that company. And then I started working with the Marley Group from my Digicel days and, working closely with Fidela. And that grew into my employment there at the Bob Marley Group based at the museum. And I did 2 years with them doing, 2 years internally because I did some stuff before I even became internal or part of the staff. So I mean, we've done events, the Marley birthday celebrations each year. Started at Digital, of course, from the 70th. I've done that one downtown. So my experience has been primarily in event planning, event management, and marketing of the events, as well as including sports stuff. So lots of community-based events, like some Kickstart programs in football and basketball and all of that. So, yeah, and that has really, my experience so far, luckily, with the entities that I've worked with, has allowed me to connect with the community. And that's something that I love to do. Because even outside of that, I do try to give back to different communities or groups, like the Jamaica Down Syndrome Foundation. I do an event called Wind Down for Charity, where we try to raise some funds for them. And other things that I have going on, like, helping some community kids with dental care and stuff like that.
Okay.
But yeah.
I'm looking at your picture and you look so young. I'm not going to ask you how old you are, but I know you're pretty young.
I am good with my age. I am 37. Only
you look younger than that. No, you look so much. You look young, but no. All right. So now, I'm sure all of that experience kind of gave you a lot of confidence to kind of push out on your own. All right? Did it?
Oh, boy, I don't know if you'll ever have the confidence, but what I can say is that it helped me to build a network that really gave great support. In addition to my family, who is truly, truly extremely supportive. And so with that, the experience, the network, my family, that's what really gave me the confidence to step forward. So,
I got you. I love that. I so love that. And that is really where confidence starts, Sabrina,
yes.
From your yard.
Exactly.
You see him? So, all right. So let us talk about the porridge shop now. How did you come up with an idea of a porridge shop?
Boy, it started with my personal need. To be honest, growing up, I did not love porridge. I was like, nope, I was forced to drink it. People would make it different ways that I didn't enjoy, like really thick or, you're cutting through it like pudding. I was like, nope. But when I got older, I got pregnant, parents, grandparents were saying, boy, the porridge is good for the baby, etc. And so I tried making it on my own, making it how I would want to have it. From there, hominy is my favorite. And when I would try to go and now try these commercial places like Juicer, etc., you go there and it's just one type per day. And I would be so disappointed to step in and they're like, no, only cornmeal today. And I'm like, Jesus, where's the hominy? So, I thought, what if we had somewhere that had many different porridges per day? So the original concept was to have porridge straight throughout the day. But of course, economics and the pandemic will not allow for us to do that kind of extended day because then the demand is not great in the afternoon. So we just, I just started it with just half day.
You demand not great in the afternoon, but something with porridges and soups, it's nutritional and it's relatively inexpensive.
Exactly.
So for those who just can't bear for me, just go to something else, them still want to stay upon the porridge. How is it that you make your porridge to make it tasty? Because I understand exactly what you mean. Some porridge just water down and none of flavor in there, man. So how you do yours?
So the thing is, I wanted to get as much of the market as possible or to reach as many people as possible. So I know that we have a lot of persons who are lactose intolerant, and they can't consume dairy. So the first thing we did was to say, okay, we're going to have to find a creamy alternative, which naturally is coconut milk.
Ooh,
so
there you go.
Is coconut milk. So we start with that, and then we ensure that we have partnerships with, great Jamaican brands like Separada and Fosca to get oats and hominy and cornmeal. And then I have some farmers that I have connections with and partnerships with as well, who provide me with like the peanuts and, some plantain and banana for the days that we do plantain and banana, as well as they provide me with the ackee and the tomatoes and stuff to do our ackee and saltfish on the menu as well, because we have that and callaloo and saltfish.
Well, the whole world now hungry. And it's you who cause it. You understand me? All right. So I know you offer homily without a doubt because it's homily make you even go in there. So what other kind of porridges you offer?
So each day we have oats, hominy, bulgur, what you call it, peanuts. What we also have cornmeal every day, but right now we have a special happening where we are now mixing because cornmeal is the easiest to kind of change. So we've added sorrel beetroot to the cornmeal for the month of November, and that is actually for charity. I don't know if you've seen the case of Chanel Simpson's daughter Nyla Simpson. She started with Wilms tumor, and it's now spread to her lung, so she now has lung cancer. And we've decided to help Chanel a bit because she's had to stop working a 9 to 5. So she only gets odd jobs. So to help her with funding, etc., we've dedicated that pot of porridge to her. So each day we're trying to get to 100 cups in sales to at least have a minimum of $20,000 donated to her per day.
Bless you.
Yeah, thanks. And that's what we are doing for the month of November. So we encourage everybody to come and try the cornmeal porridge. A lot of people, we've transformed so many people. Just this morning, I had 2 customers come in, and they were like, no, beetroot and sorrel in the porridge? No. I'm like, just try it. When they try a spoon, they're like, all right, give me a cup, a medium.
Nice.
And they're buying it and mixing it with other porridges too, because they'll mix it with like maybe the hominy or the peanuts. And they truly enjoy it. So, I mean, giving back doesn't have to mean that you sacrifice yourself, because when you buy the cup of porridge, you're adding to your health, your meal for the day, and then you're giving back to somebody else. So
absolutely, and something that perhaps something that perhaps our listeners would like to know is that raising funds for Nyla was actually born out of your own personal loss. Let's talk a bit about that.
True. So the same month and year that Nyla was diagnosed, and this is something that hit me when I saw Nyla's story. September 2019 was the same year that my best friend, Carisha Williams, she was diagnosed with lung cancer. And she passed, unfortunately, 2 months later. She passed to date 2 years ago, November 4th. And so when I saw Nyla's story, I completely broke down, like, and what is strange is that Nyla's mom would normally be around my circle of friends. We haven't been great friends for long, but I'd always see her. She's always smiling, always upbeat, always. And I know personally when I went through what I went through with Carisha, how draining it is. It's emotionally stressing. It is financially heavy. And when I saw the story, maybe 2 weeks ago, I got up and saw the Gleaner story. I could not believe this is the same girl that is standing with us whenever we are out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And she's just always vibrant and looking after everybody else. She's like, you got a drink, you need this, etc. So I was like, no, this cannot be the same girl. Like, you cannot be going through that and be this. You know what I mean? So kind, so compassionate, and just generally seemingly happy around people. So, yeah, I mean,
wow.
It really was like, I couldn't not do anything. Like, had to figure out something to do.
We're looking at a picture here now. I wish you could just put that picture on the screen again. And that's a picture of Kyla. What a sweetheart. Nyla,
right.
sorry.
Yes.
And it says, porridge with purpose. Right. Nyla wins. Purchase a cup of our limited edition sorrel beetroot porridge to support this radiant 5-year-old in her fight against cancer. What a beautiful child.
I know.
Isn't she? Wow.
She is. She truly is.
Tell me a little bit more about her.
Well, she is 5 years old. She's about to be 6 in December. Mm-hmm. She was diagnosed in 2019, September, and she did chemotherapy for a year. Earlier this year, they had to go on a break due to the pandemic, etc. They had to go on a break in terms of her therapy and her treatment, And then earlier this year, when they went back to do some checks, they realized that the cancer had started to spread, and it got to the lungs, no moving from the kidney. Well, not moving, but in addition to being in the kidney, going to her lungs. So her mom had to restart treatment. And of course, with even the pandemic and no work, etc., it's been stressful. I mean, she does have family who is supporting her. But as you can imagine, I mean, everybody's, resources are running low. So any kind of help that we can get, any kind of, group support, we definitely welcome it. If there are corporate entities, whomever, medical professionals, etc., who are able to lend a hand in any way, we definitely welcome.
Wow, what a lovely human interest story. So that's Sabrina Webster, who grew up in Campbelltown and Franklintown, now a marketer, and she now owns the porridge shop. We're going to remind our listeners as to exactly where the porridge shop is. I'm sure Vaughn will give me that information so we can go to the porridge shop, and it's more than just, buying something that's healthy and nutritious, but it's also for a worthy cause. So it's now time for us to go global. Global connection with Beauregard. Good afternoon, Beauregard.
Thursday, November the 4th. And what do we do on Thursdays? We connect to the Bridge 99 FM to connect with Mama Elise, because it is time for us to untangle. So let's join Mama Elise right now at the bridge.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mama Elise. How are you doing?
I am very well. How are you?
I'm great. Nice to hear from you. Nice to hear your voice.
You too. Okay, let's start with some not so great news, and then we move on, right? So right. You know that we lost our Jamaica's own Ernest Wilson, right?
Yes.
And he did a fantastic job at what he does best, and of course that's the music. So we just want to say, well done, good and faithful servant, and walk good.
True indeed. Condolences to the family. I heard the news earlier this week. And I was really saddened. Well, yesterday actually. And
right.
I was truly, truly saddened about that news.
And for those who want to know who is Ernest Wilson, he's actually Fitzroy Ernest Wilson. He's a son of his, Clarendon, and one of the founding members of the Clarendonians with a beautiful voice.
Yes, he truly will be missed.
Yes.
But his music lives on.
That's right.
Yes.
Your time.
Well, over here, sister, of course, on Tuesday we had our elections, and now we can announce that we have a new mayor. Eric Adams is the new mayor-elect, and he's only the second African-American to assume the office. David Dinkins was the first one ever. So that's a good thing for New Yorkers right now. A lot of people are happy about that news. And also in New Jersey, in a very closer than expected race, the current governor, Phil Murphy, was able to hold on to his seat as the governor of the Garden State of New Jersey. That race was neck and neck. They really and truly did not know who was going to win, but they were able to announce that the governor is going to hold on to his seat. So Democrats in New Jersey, them can let out a little sigh of relief about that, because everybody thought that the Republican candidate might have stolen that seat. Simply because a lot of Republicans did very, very well in these elections. All over the place, Republicans were winning left, right, and center. Here in New York City, especially in Nassau and Suffolk counties, the Republicans, they did exceptionally well. And even down in Virginia, where they got a new governor in Glenn Youngkin, we are proud to announce that that victory also included a Jamaican. Their new lieutenant governor in Winsome Sears has been elected, and she's a daughter of the soil. So we say congratulations to her on becoming the new lieutenant governor of Virginia.
Okay, and we have a new ambassador. Hold on. yeah, so getting some crazy. Yes, I thought it was on the phone, but it's not on the phone. So when I find it, I will talk about that. But something that we need to talk about, Beauregard, the daylight saving time.
Yes.
Because or over this side, well, over your side, but over our side, our shifts will change a bit in terms of the time.
Okay.
So instead of you're an hour ahead now, right?
Yes, we are 1 hour ahead now.
When does it start?
Daylight saving times ends. Well, it ends this Sunday, 2 a.m. over here. We will fall back, so we're going to actually be going back 1 hour.
You're going back an hour.
Yeah, so we should be on same time from now on.
Okay.
From Sunday moving forward.
Okay, so that means a shift in our programming because yours had shifted. So
Right.
so it's really from
It's
10
us.
o'clock now. Yes, it's really you.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Who fitting in back to our time.
Yes.
Right. And not the other way around.
No, not the other way around. I will be joining your time.
Right. You'll be joining our time. And in
Right.
order to accommodate that, our time will now be shifting because can I tell you something though?
What's
You know,
that, sister?
sometimes you start a thing and you just start a thing and you just talk to your brethren and it's just a thing. No. Then old Beauregard thing I go Rasta. And I'm like, brethren, you send me out. I mean, no. The man them coming like the people them coming like them send me out, Beauregard.
Oh, wow.
You understand?
Yeah.
So now if you explain to the people them know who listen to the Bridge 99 FM that no, the Beauregard thing stay as it is. It's just that
Yes.
our time now we go in order to match back phone time. We going to come in 1 hour later, and that way then we're going to catch back Beauregard at the same time when he would have normally talk to him. So that
Yeah, because I don't think your times would move. It would be us falling back 1 hour, so we would be on the same times. When it's 10 there, it's going to be 10 here, and moving forward.
in order to accommodate your
Yes.
time, we had to come in a little earlier. So now that it's back to normal, it is
Okay.
now our time will have. I mean, our air time.
Yes,
Our
yes.
air
yes,
time
yes.
is what we're talking about here.
Right.
Will shift. So I'm going to be
Well-
coming in at 11 o'clock in the morning and coming off at 2 o'clock instead of at 10 o'clock and coming off 1 o'clock.
Right.
And all of that is just to accommodate the global connection that it remains the same.
Well, tell them they don't have to worry, Mama Elise. We're not going to mash up what we have going on here. We're going to keep it fun for the people that are tuned in and listening. The other night I saw Sister Carol.
Ooh.
Yes, and she had some wonderful words, to tell me about our connection on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And one of the words that she used, she said it's magical.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yes, and she said we should just keep up what we're doing. It's a fun thing and it's very good for the community.
Nice. I love
Nice.
that. That
Yes.
coming from my sister Carol, that's great, right? That's
Yes.
beautiful. Right.
Sure
Okay. This one says them's coming in with too much mandate, so them start lose. Just somebody just texted that a while ago, from your side too. No, I know we can't get too,
Right.
whatever.
But the funny thing about the mandates, they keep coming. More of them keep coming. Just yesterday, the Biden administration, they ordered U.S. companies to ensure that employees are fully vaccinated by January 4th. And that's going to be a thing. Even the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, has authorized children ages 5 to 11 that they are now eligible for the Pfizer vaccine. And about 28 million children in the United States fall into that age group. So that's 28 million decisions to be made by parents.
Wow.
And the polls now show that many parents are on the fence about whether and when to get their younger ones vaccinated. And they all have legitimate concerns and questions. Things such as how well does the COVID-19 vaccine work for kids, and what are some of the common side effects are some questions that parents are asking.
I hear you. I tell you something, my brother. Now is a time when parents have to be on board in terms of navigating their own families in the
Right.
way that they see fit.
True.
No longer you can just sit on the sideline and say anything or anything. You have to understand what is happening, and whatever decision you make, it has to be a solid decision, a well thought out decision on behalf of your family. So fathers especially get on board. Don't leave these decisions to, just fathers
Should
and
be
mothers.
a family decision.
Precisely.
Yes.
Exactly. Just like that. So
Some of the things some people love to say now, Mama Elise, they say, boy, when you was a kid, you not get vaccine, man, your parents not carry go get the shot. Just go and go get it, man. Just go and go get it. So I look at them and say, well, when I was a child, I didn't have a say. Now I'm older, we can actually think before we make decisions.
we can. And it's a little different also. This
Yes.
one here is quite different. Anyway, as we said, we just, what we don't want to get ourselves into, this vaccine. We have enough problems, in terms of polarization. We just don't want to get ourselves into this vax and anti-vax thing. I see it reaching there, but those of us on the ground, we have to just know that this is a decision that individuals take for themselves.
Right.
And that's just it.
And we would never come on here and tell anyone not to go get vaccinated.
Or to.
Or to go get vaccinated.
Well, this is really a personal choice,
A personal choice.
And we have to keep it that way, yeah. Anyway, I have an interview with a poet by the name of Amaziyah the Great. I'm sure you will enjoy, and your listeners will enjoy hearing that conversation.
True.
So, little
We're
more?
here. Yes, sister, we're here.
All right, cool. Respect. See?
Respect.
All right. So, yes, we're going to be having that interview. Ready? Okay, so we're ready. Craig Kirkland, otherwise known as Amaziyah the Great. Good afternoon, my brother.
Great indeed. Blessing and respect.
How is life?
Well, life is, always challenging, but we try not complain too much. We just try adjust yourself and just do the do.
I love that. All right, we haven't touched base for quite a while, and just for those who don't know who Amaziyah the Great is, just give them a short little heads up as to who you are and what it is that you do.
Well, Amaziyah the Great is a human from Punchtown, Jamaica, the son of Nyla Allen and Mr. Albert Kirkland, an artist, a poet, a filmmaker, a creative individual, so to speak, doing greatness to uplift, educate our people.
Okay, and you've been doing a wonderful job so far. I mean, a lot of people perhaps even know you more as a filmmaker, because one of the good things about you is that you make your work available. You are on social media, on all the platforms, and you make it available. Tell me a little bit about your most popular films to date.
One of the most recent films is, there are ones where me personally did, because some of the films before was just me playing cameo roles and not much in action. But there's one called Easter Bun, which my sister, persuaded me to do. Easter Bun, it's about me going hard for this girl who I love and want. She named Keisha. I couldn't find the bun to give my mother and her fit them, but I find it figure Keisha. Keisha take it the next month. A bag of things. But when I search PR now and it continues. We recently did some shots in New York. And I'm back in Jamaica now since 2 months. We're still working on part 3 because people are asking for more. So we still do the do.
All right. And, you're talking so simple, but one of the things that I really love, and one of the things that make your films so popular, is because they're grounded, them roots, them, people identify very much with them. Who are you as an actor? Which, you just outlined a while ago that you're an artist, you're a poet, you're a filmmaker, and you just said that you act in your films. Which is it that...
Well, this was like a new task on screen.
Yeah.
But I've always been comedic. I've always been me. I guess I'm have to being creative. So it comes naturally.
Right. I love that. And you're a brilliant poet. You sent one of your poems to us yesterday. And my producer said to me, just listen to this one because this is the only one he got. And it is brilliant. So, I'm sure he has been telling you that I'm going to want your most recent poems on a CD that we can share it with our listeners, right?
Right, so.
Okay. All right, so you're going to do that. We have the other one. We're going to share it still. But you're a brilliant poet, as I was saying. So my question to you, and you're also a brilliant filmmaker.
Yes.
Do you get confused when you have so many talents?
Not really, because it's just like my everyday lifestyle, and it's just me doing it. It takes me not a lot of time to create a short film. It takes me not a lot of time to create a poem, but me have to have the right men. Mm-hmm. And some of my poems really are, stuff where occur are things that me personally experienced in a life. Mm-hmm. You get me? So I have one I recently wrote named Legends Are Leaving Us. If I'm allowed time, I think it's a really remarkable poem. Just let me know if I can.
Okay, Legends Are Leaving Us?
Legends are, the legends I'm going to leave with.
All right, I'm going to of course you're going to get some time to do that. But there's the one that I have is There's Nothing, that one, what is the name of that one?
Nothing wrong.
There's Nothing Wrong. All right. Since we have the CD, since we have a hard copy of There's Nothing Wrong, we're going to play that one. But the one Legends Are Leaving Us, I'm going to invite you to do that one now for our listeners.
Okay. Last September when I looked, it was the passing of reggae legend Toots. A few weeks ago, Daddy Uroy passed, R.I.P., another icon embedded in our hearts. The other day after I got the news, reggae icon Bunny Wailer has died today. I'm still not in a happy mood. When we look overseas, even Kobe and DMX gone. The legends are leaving us. Mama Elise, how I really are gone. Bob Marley, Garnet, Silk, and Dennis Brown. Van, me still wish they were around because some of them are treat the business like a circus, too much clown. Globally, loved ones are grieving. Even while I'm speaking, the legends are leaving Earth. Powerful black men were put to death. Call it whatever you want. This is a total mess. If it's not sickness, it's murder. Go on, feel free to check. I'm not cold, I speak bold until my last breath. Chadwick Boseman gone too soon. I'm still saying Wakanda forever. My people be wise and realize we are stronger together. Babylon the one with the rise, them tell lies and act like so them clever. Some say Black Lives Matter. Elise, let's see if it's gonna get better. But how can it be better when it's divided in ignorance? Distraction and confusion, no progression with the ignorance. Some of them busy on TikTok watching Gali that comedy joke. I see them twerking on IG, not paying attention to the post I wrote. We are powerful together, all we need is support. Seek knowledge, increase the vocabulary because life is no joke. Be careful of the foods you consume because poisonous stuff in what they promote. Who created all these diseases and viruses claiming there's no antidote? The great legends are gone and I'm feeling provoked. This is no joke, my code will make people stay woke. Are the legends really leaving us or are they being killed? Me no know. I'm somewhat bewildered. It's just a question I'm asking still. As my mind navigates, it invade my thoughts. Why? Evil men reign longer and the good one die early. This concerned me and I won't lie. Marcus Garvey, Jamaica's first national hero and one of the world's greatest man. Uniting black people all over for Africa was his greatest plan. News story reveal he met his demise after suffering a stroke. I think they took him out purposely and this is no joke. It's obvious they want to get rid of a powerful black man. I will not sit and be silent. My spoken words explode like bombs. I wish somebody would confess about the death of Dr. Sabi, the man who actually cured many diseases, including AIDS, and them things say I'm crazy. February 21st, 1965, Malcolm X assassinated. April 4th, Martin Luther King Jr. assassinated. Tupac, Biggie, Nipsey murder. You think that's coincidence? Once you have power with the people, them delete you, and that's evidence. The legends are leaving us, only God know why. Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, and Prince, me still rate them till the day I die. Aaliyah was so young when she lost her life in the plane crash, the whole world cried. Gandhi, too, was a great man, assassinated. Why? I could not complete this list of legends without not mentioning King Selassie. Rest in peace, are you great legends? Work well done. Our ancestors fought long for us to get freedom. Educate yourselves. I will not sit and be silent. Me no mute, me no dumb. Our journey continues perpetually like the rise of the sun.
Brilliant. And unfortunately, you're going to have to add one more legend because we just lost Ernest Wilson. A lot of people hearing you might think that, you know, you're a conspiracy theorist. But the questions are valid questions, especially for some of the young ones that are just passing as some of the ones you mentioned. And, you know, whether it's a conspiracy theory or you are a conspiracy theorist or not, we have to be critical thinkers. And that's exactly what this poem is suggesting, that you're thinking critically. Precisely. All right. So, your poetry is described as dancehall poetry. For those who don't know what that means, what in your mind is dancehall poetry?
Dancehall poetry is, all right, that was the title of one of my poems. And really and truly, that was the first poem I did and started performing in the dancehall. You know, because once upon a time, the message in the music made me rate dancehall. So I attired myself properly just to date dancehall. And, you know, dancehall is like an ongoing transition. It moved from one phase to another. And, you know, at this point in time, doing dancehall music and performing the reggae on international scale, I get to understand that a lot of persons, they're not so comfortable with dancehall. due to the fact of what nowadays creators are making it seeming to be. You get what I mean? It somewhat lacks creativity and the authenticity of the roots and culture where it come from, evolving into something different. You get what I mean? So these are the complaints me really get from persons as I traverse. And, me just decide, me still going to do my poetry in the dancehall scene, me still going to do my dancehall music. But I feel closely connected to the people each time I do poems. I was recently in North Carolina performing My Name is Pam, and then there was this Rasta lady embraced me tightly with tears streaming from her face. And I started to wonder if she mad. But no, she was going through some of these same domestic abuse situation, and
Yes.
it's just such a warm feeling. So
Tell us about My Name is Pam. Very interesting. Just briefly tell us a little bit about that.
My Name is Pam is a poem I wrote from 2016. It all started off when I was home with my kids. That book name, I Am a Boy, I Am a Girl, My Name is Pam, My Name is Roy. Many people in Jamaica and in a whole tri-state area who is Jamaican can relate to that. So it's all about me, but telling them a story about Pam. But Pam grew up big now because you don't know, we did a little bit when we have the book there. So I try to put my interpretation to it, and it was the time when the whole female abduction did go on, even though that never stopped. But I emphasize on that and decide we are going to fight against this domestic abuse against women and telling the kids them the story, not just the kids, but the world. You get me? And say
Yeah.
it is a female played by my sister, Trudy and Kirkland, aka Quality. She go through the struggles and pass end, but at the end of the day, she never stopped. She continued to pursue her desires, and she finally reached up to her goals. So it's emphasizing on females, no matter where you go through. Know who to trust, because there are many messages in whether we do poems, whether we do short films. There are strong messages in our way of put out to the people.
Mm-hmm.
So men out there who just planning to trick you, because Dick did just trick her. Silly Billy was the one who committed suicide and killed himself because he thinks that the baby weapon of a fame. And in real life, these are the things that occur around our communities. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we just have to try, talk to some people.
Absolutely.
Try to assist them the best way we possibly can. Because talk do alleviate.
Yes,
You get me? So it's just about that.
Yes, and something else to Amaziyah, one of the things that I really appreciate is the fact that the stories that you write are real. The people around you are real, and it also gives them an opportunity, even if it didn't happen to them, to vent some kind of their feeling through acting, because you're involving members of the community in your films and in acting, and that is such a stress relief.
From ever since, Elise, Kelly, from ever since, you know this already, you get me? And one of the reasons, my community I come from a really harsh background. You get me? I say it come from the bitterness, the darkness, the whole nine. And at the end of the day, me, I one of the youth them who decide, say, we have to try and motivate and inspire these youth, because if we don't try and mold them and try show them the right way, it's going to be even better than what it was. You get me? And one of the things why some of these youths, not just in my community, but Jamaica and the world, them not try read. Them not too much ignorant. You get what I say?
Yes.
And that can trigger, when you're illiterate and ignorant, it can create whole heap of chaos and confusion.
So
You get
true,
me?
so true.
I have like 4 lines of me always tell them, words of wisdom in my mind me I feed, Marcus Garvey philosophy books me I read. Knowledge over war, me say, yes indeed. When the vocabulary high, them can't stop your speed. Precisely.
Yes, absolutely. So very quickly now, as we wrap up, tell us exactly what you're doing right now as we speak.
As we speak, I don't know, me just go and will vibe with my kids. They are here tuning in to The Bridge, 99 FM, Amaziyah, the great representing to the world. Big respect to all the fans, not who bring me all about New York and tri-state area, and people who respecting and appreciating my poems, Michelle, Verona, everybody. Just to say gratitude to the fans in my yard and abroad.
Beautiful. And remember that we need a copy of some of the most recent poems that you have that we can share it. Because especially when we have interviews like these, it heightens the curiosity of our listeners. For those who didn't hear about you before, they're going to want to hear more. So thank you so very much, Amaziyah the Great, for being my guest on Untengle.
I really do appreciate and thanks for having me. To Van. They get to me and say, across the bridge there'll be no sorrow, across the bridge no pain. Sun will shine across the river. Amaziyah the Great on the bridge will never be unhappy again. Tell them precisely. Big respect.
Okay, thanks again. Okay, before we say so long, let's represent some of our listeners. This one is from my sister in Bridget Rubin, who says, big tune, sis, big voice. And she's talking about none other than Mikey Spice. And then another sister says, pull up the Hezi. And of course, she's talking about none other than Hezron. So, we just want to say thank you very much to everyone for listening, for always listening to the Bridge 99 FM. Thank you very much. 24/7 we go. Thank you very much for our guests on Constitutionally Speaking, the Public Defender Arlene Harrison Henry and Deputy Public Defender Herbert McKenzie. Want to say a big thank you to Sabrina Webster. And Sabrina Webster is the lady with the porridge shop. And let me see if I can find which part the shop there. I scribbled it from one of them something here. There you go. Shop 11, Oakland's Commercial Complex, Constant Spring Road. Thank you very much, Vaughn. So that's something that we really have to remember. You can support a worthy cause by buying Sabrina's porridges, and I can just tell they're very tasty. That's shop number 11, Oakland Commercial Complex, Constant Spring Road. Thank you very much also, Craig Kirkland. We know him as Amaziyah the Great. Thank you very much for sharing your poetry, and thank you very much for the work that you do in your community. We're at the, or should I say, we're not really at there, but we've been talking about today, constitutionally speaking, we've been talking about a lot of things regarding climate change. And there's a quotation, not leaving you with this quotation, but I just found it very interesting. And it came from UK Prime Minister. I'm not sure if it is original, but he said we have to end the role of humanity as nature's conqueror and instead become nature's custodian. And it is absolutely true. So before we say so long, we just want to make one last link with Beauregard. Beauregard, you there?
Yes, Mama Elise.
So we join at a new time. Well, your time, but next week, Tuesday. All right?
Yes, I'll be looking forward to that. And also tonight, I want to send a big shout out going out to the billions of Hindus and Indians and Buddhists who will be celebrating Diwali all across the world today. So hats off to them. It's a celebration of lights. They'll be lighting candles and decorations and fireworks and things of that nature. So big them up.
Oh, sounds nice and cultural.
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. So bless up again. New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, Long Island, Manhattan. And thank you so very much for making it Irie Jam Radio and also Bridge 99 FM. Okay, and this is how we leave you. And we repeat this from time to time, and it is so true. So we're leaving you with it again. It says we have to go back to the beginning of things. The beginning of all things, always. Trace the thread of life. Find the knot, and you don't know. Untangle that.